The major question on all DBZ fans' minds. Which is better, Burst Limit or BT3? Opinions all the way. But since you're here, you might as well take a comprehensive look at each one of them. Let's just start at the easiest one. Burst Limit wins hands down overall. If we nitpick a little bit, we can find spots where BT3 would come out on top. Most notable would be the attacks themselves. Aside from some looking correct, the general effects on most attacks seem to have a nicer finish on BT3, especially the beam struggles. While the ones in Burst Limit can last longer, the ones in BT3 look more like a struggle instead of two attacks simply meeting. I don't want to spend much time here, so let's just give this one to Burst Limit for its incredibly pretty stages and character models. Oh no, the dreaded menu critique is back! I just have to ask one thing. What happened to Burst Limit's menu? It looks brown and dull. It's devoid of any color and boring. It almost seems like they ran out of money and their budget can only afford one color. How hard would it have been to add some color to spice up the menu? I figure with how often people are going to have to look at the main menu, they should at least make it something I would want to look at. Take BT3s for example. Plenty of color, got 4 characters who each say something different about the options selected, it's moving along, it's something worth looking at. Makes you want to start up the game just to see such a great menu. Clearly, BT3 wins here to tie it up. Now we're getting to the good stuff. In terms of characters, BT3 wins without a challenge. If you count each unique character in the game, you get a total score of Burst Limit 20, BT3 89. So what does this mean? Simple. You can set up a lot more matches. BT3 has 345% more characters than Burst Limit. More freedom to create matches is always a good thing. Make any excuse you want, but not having as many characters isn't good. So, +1 BT3. So what about the game modes themselves? Story I will keep short. Burst Limit only goes to Cell, so that hurts it. It has repeating fights, and that sucks. All the fights are basically the same as in Versus. Apart from the cutscenes, Burst Limit offers nothing here that BT3 doesn't do better. With interactions in the fights, more of them, a stronger feeling of the fights being tied into DBZ, BT3 wins again. Versus would be next, but I'm saving that for last. So next up is Trial and Ultimate Battle. Trial holds 3 modes, all of which play almost exactly the same. Meanwhile, Ultimate Battle holds 3 or 5 modes. The last 2 depend on if you have the PS2 version and with BT1 and 2. They are all different. Sim Dragon is an interesting little mini game that is random each time. Mission 100 gives you 100 different fights to challenge, and Survival puts you up against a gauntlet of 50 people. Survival in Burst Limit does go up to 100, sure, but it has a load between each fight. This makes it an incredibly long time. I don't know if Survival is the right name for it. Maybe Patience or Endurance would have been a better thing to call this mode. Time attacks and points are damn near the same thing. Just one keeps track of time while the other keeps track of points. BT3 with its more modes that are actually fun to play wins out once more. Next we have Tournament. Wait, Burst Limit is out of game modes? You mean there isn't a tournament mode in the DBZ game? Despite what problems the tournament mode might have in BT3, if you aren't trying to unlock something, it works perfectly fine. What excuse does Burst Limit have as a DBZ game to not have a tournament mode? So, BT3 wins by default. Finally, the last part before we get into the gameplay. Customization. Oh wait, you mean Burst Limit doesn't have this too? Well, what does it have then? Oh right, we'll get to that soon enough. This really is one of the reasons BT3 managed to last as long as it has. The ability to tweak not only the stats, but the basic abilities of your character makes it worth coming back to see what new things you can come up with. Oh sure, on Burst Limit you can increase the stats before a match, but can you give the character the ability to not get phased by normal attacks? Can you give them the ability to fly? Bottom line is, you can't. Apart from being able to control the level of each computer individually in a match, there is nothing the Burst Limit system does that the BT3 one can't. So again, BT3 wins by, wait, drama pieces. That is what they tried to pass as customization and Burst Limit? Does anyone really buy that? Apart from them breaking up the action in a fight, they're either temporary boosts or one-time use events. I am sure everyone would have rather seen a return of the item and level system from Budokai 3 than this. So, once again, BT3 wins. Here we are, the last category. While BT3 is in the lead, it could very well lose it all here. So we can see that BT3 has more to offer in terms of content, but is it even worth playing compared to Burst Limit? I can hear the screaming now. Burst Limit is so much better than BT3. It has cancel combos. You can hear people name off all sorts of stuff, but the bottom line is Burst Limit is either poorly made or overbalanced. The system is just full of holes. Oh, but wait. Every character in BT3 plays the same, right? Wrong. Anyone who says that is either a blind fanboy or just doesn't understand how the game plays at all. But this isn't about how BT3 plays, so I won't really get into that. While BT3 isn't the deepest game ever, to just dismiss it without having any depth at all is just plain ignorant. While I'm sure every single person who doesn't believe me just yelled at their monitor for me to prove it, or put down a list for them to argue with, that would have to be saved for another video. I am sure by now everyone has noticed I haven't brought up online yet. Well, if the game itself isn't much fun, why would you want to play it online? Bottom line here is, which one is fun to play? You know, fun? Everyone remember fun? Good. Answer here is the same as it's been for a while. BT3. So with a small roster, boring story mode, broken fighting system, and not much content, Burst Limit really isn't that great. I didn't cover the best part of Burst Limit yet though, so that was pretty unfair. I apologize. Here it is. Oh wait, I take that back. The best part is that it came with Dead Zone. So, believe whatever you want, but to me, BT3 is just more fun to play and an overall better DBZ game.